Nothing has changed. Everything is the same as usual. I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah.
Anything since last time.
You're back, it says. We're good now.
No.
You're back. Awesome.
Oh,
we hear you. It says we hear you.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. Yo, okay. Let's start from the beginning now. I'm glad everybody's back. It says you're on. We do not know what happened. This has never happened.
Creepy.
I said some cool stuff. Didn't I say some cool stuff?
I know.
It's all gone now. It's washed up.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. What a night. What a night. All right. Let's start from the beginning. Why don't you give NorCal Cat, Orlando, a call right now?
Yeah, we have to get him
first.
on.
So get him on while I'm speaking to everybody.
That is so weird.
That was the worst. Oh, Bronx Surfcaster, all I know is you had a good one. Bronx Surfcaster wrote, this is going to be a good one tonight.
I know. Thanks, Oscar.
I love that. I love that one.
Edwin's like, yeah, you look like you were saying something cool.
Yeah, and all of a sudden.
Oh, man.
Nah, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I did that.
That was a joke. I was like, no, don't do
that. No, baby, no. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I went to Maine. For 5 days. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Maine was beautiful. I want to say thank you to everybody in Maine. All the surfcasters I met, which was a 7-year-old boy on the beach fishing with his father. That was it. No, I'm just kidding. I met a lot of surfcasters out there. They gave me a lot of good tips, man. The best thing, the thing I found the most exciting was the change of tides. Here, we got tide changes. Full moon, it might be a 5-foot difference. Oh my goodness, over there in the full moon, it's a 10-foot swing. And in some areas, I was able to look down 30 feet. So I went there during the day, and that day it was low tide. I happened to get lucky like that. So I walked around, I scouted everything, I went everywhere. I found a ledge, and I fished over there. And finally on the last night, I went 3 nights, I got a fish. It was rough, man. I fished really hard. I fished different areas, north side, down south, back the island, in the bay. Everywhere I fished. But it was a difficult time to catch fish. Many surfcasters I met said, hey, if you were here just 1 week earlier. But we all know that story, don't we? They're actually catching them around the other bend over there. And I got it. I got it. But it's okay. Let's again say hello to my darling wife. Sweetheart, what do we go through?
I know.
What do we go through? It's terrible. It's like the terriblest thing in the world that happens.
It's not one thing, it's another.
And it's so stressful.
The AC conked out.
Yeah, remember the AC in the middle of the summer? We had guests here, and it was like, no, the oven's not on. It's just that my AC's on real low. But the fan on higher, I told you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But we got it. We got all that fixed. It was all sorted out. And just like tonight, man, what a killer. What a killer. So anything that I remember that I can talk about when I missed?
Before? I don't know.
Let's start saying hello. It was when I turned to you guys and I wanted to say hello to everybody. So,
right, and then
South Shore, Woodcraft, Annie D. Morales, thank you for coming. Edwin Rivera, what a charmer. Jay Falco, JJ, what's up, my brother? D Bar, Oski, Oski. All right. Insto di Presigat. Wait, how do you say that, honey? Pescador.
Is it instinto de pescador?
What does that mean? Tell me.
Fisherman's instinct.
Ah, saludos, my friend.
I think they're the ones he's from Italy.
Very nice. Saludos, my friend. Definitely. All the way from Italy if you're from there. If you're from anywhere else, I'm sorry for making that mistake. Striper Hunter, NorCal Cat, who is our guest tonight? And I'm going to repeat everything. Got Orlando on tonight, guys. Conservationist, artist. This guy's an idea guy, man. This is a good friend to have in the striped bass industry that we're in. Yeah, he knows all about conservation. Don't try to tell him that you're using a J-hook. Probably lose a good friendship right there. But other than that, Let's keep going on that. We'll see Orlando in a few minutes. We'll get to him. I know you guys don't want to hear my bleep and stuff, but anyway, we got to do this. Bronx Surfcaster, always a pleasure to have you here. Striper Hunter, Greg Pinellas. Greg, I really, really like. You're a good man. Give me some good emails. Very nice stuff. I like Greg. Greg's very nice. Good fisherman. I know he fishes down here by the Hudson, and especially in the striper season. James Flynn. James, what's up, buddy? Night shift fishing. I will see you in about 2 weeks. I will be there with my wife. You'll meet my wife. I'm very jealous that you have a trike because I'm going to be borrowing a friend of mine's. Who's the gentleman I'm borrowing it from? What do we call him?
Oh, it's Damien, I think.
Yeah, Damien. He's out in Long Island. Damien, thank you so much. I'm going to be borrowing his electric bike to go there. So I'll be all excited about that. I don't have to pedal. I can use all my energy casting, the little bit I have left at my age. You guys know I'm 97 years old, right? All right, so Mr. Brooks, Ronnie M., Jay Falco, always a pleasure, always here. Mr. P, it's my birthday. Well, now, what do we have for Jay Falco on his birthday? I know. I got a good one for you, Jay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Falco. Happy birthday, Mr. Falco.
Happy birthday.
Okay, stop. Let me finish it up. Happy birthday to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Happy birthday, buddy. I'm glad to have you here on the show tonight. We're spending Mr. Falco's birthday here tonight. I know you're 17 years old. We won't go further than that. But, hey, how you doing? Kevin R., what's up, buddy? How are you? You know Kevin, honey. I went fishing with Kevin before. Kevin's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Hard worker, family guy. I like Kevin. Kevin, we'll be going soon, my friend. Striper City, Jersey is right around the corner. Oski, how you doing? Okay, so we said our hellos. If I missed anybody, I'm very, very... WR, what's up? T, man. T, where is... What was his name again, honey? Our old friend who won a couple of prizes in the beginning. Very famous.
James Brown.
No. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's not continue on that. Let's just go right to Orlando now.
So many names.
Yeah, let's just go right to Orlando right now. I'm sorry to do that to you, but Orlando's waiting, and he keeps waving the middle finger at me. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Not.
No, he's not. All right, let's go to Orlando now. So hello to Orlando from California, NorCal Cat. Excellent lure maker. Let him tell you the rest. All right, Orlando. How you doing, buddy?
Orlando.
Hey, what's up, dude?
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
It was good until I looked up at the screen to say hello to everybody, and I saw we can't hear you. And I was already talking for 10 minutes, and one guy wrote something about, this is like a Chinese movie. This is great. I loved it. You know, I was like, hey, cool. Orlando, I must tell you right now, I do love the background.
Yes. Beautiful.
Very nice. What's going on with that? Let's start out with that. You got a little green background?
No, I don't. It's just whatever.
Gotcha. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's a picture that I have from Montauk.
Oh, very nice, buddy. If I was Bill Wetzel, I would be able to tell you exactly where that point is right now with that house showing. But I'm not Bill Wetzel, and I know he can get that for you immediately. Hopefully you'll be meeting Bill Wetzel if you decide to come down. In October, I forgot to mention to everybody, please, guys, come to the Striper Challenge. It's a 3-day event. I'm hosting it. October, this is our second annual. Last year's first prize was $850. I can tell you right now, it's up to $525. There's lots of more people joining. You're going to get good stuff. I'm planning on really nice little packages for everybody when you get there, and just, you got to come. It's the 21st and 22nd of October. Stay at the, what is it, the hotel, honey? Tell them.
Montauk Manor.
The Montauk Manor. You'll get your best rates there. I'll fight them all the way for you. 40 cents was good what I did last year for everybody. Everybody was very happy. They got a lot of extra bazooka bubble gum with that. But anyway, it's hopefully everybody can come and be wonderful. Other than that, back to Orlando. Orlando, welcome to the show once again. I love having you on here. And the reason I say love is because you are very knowledgeable in the field of surfcasting. And even I sit here when I ask questions and I'm enlightened. I love it. You keep me magnified to the screen. So tell us, Orlando, how has it been going in California?
It's been good, man. I've been fishing. Um, my I live literally like 5 minutes off the one of the major rivers out here, so I've been kind of focusing on that myself out here, and it's been pretty decent. But yeah, I've just been busy with that, busy working, busy doing jujitsu, busy working my boat, busy making plugs. I mean, man, I just sometimes I wish uh, there was more time in the day to get stuff done, man. And it's literally, 15-hour days just to get everything done out here, man.
Yeah, I hear that, Orlando. For all of us, even for myself, really quick, we had a gentleman at the job. He recently got an injury. He's going to be out for a good 10 to 15 weeks. So we have to cover his shift. This week, unfortunately, I won't be doing any fishing. I do have to work, and work comes first in order to make all this live stream happen. So I understand where you're coming from when you say hard work, because we have my job, and then I have this here at home, and we have the household, which is my wife, that we all have to make each other happy to continue life in a correct manner, right?
Yes.
So, Orlando, tell me, how
What's
is
up,
the
buddy?
lure? Now, the lure, I know I've mentioned to quite a few people before, you have a waiting list for your lure company. I think it's 15 months, am I correct?
Yeah, about 15 to 16 months. It fluctuates. I try to get a lot of stuff done, but like I said, it's a one-man show, and I'm always looking to improve the quality of the product so it doesn't get slower. I mean, it doesn't get quicker. It actually gets a little bit slower because I'm constantly improving stuff and just real minor details sometimes, but it just adds time. But I'm always looking to have like the best product out there that somebody would want to fish. I mean, I could literally spend like even longer hours making a product that I feel would, you know, be like real superior, but I don't want to be out there charging, $200, $300 for a lure that somebody's not going to want to fish. So I try to uh, supply like the best looking lure I could possibly can. Um, Within an affordable price range. I'm not the cheapest out there. I'm not going to say that, but I try to have a good balance of having a high quality plug at a good value, something unique. You know, uh, I try to offer something different than compared to what's out there. I just look at them as different tools. I'm not trying to be a guy that copies somebody else's design or has if somebody already else makes a certain lure out there, I mean, that's good. Just go buy that one. I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, I use other guys' lures as well. So, to me, I'm always just trying to figure out tools that I need for myself, and then so I put them out there, and I beat the hell out of them, and I try them out and work them and fish them in different waters, and if they work good, then I offer them
Correct.
to you guys.
Yeah,
But if
I
they
was
don't,
gonna.
it's back to the drawing board.
I want to emphasize on what you just said. Excuse me. I want to emphasize on what you just said, which was, talking about your lures and people using them. Every fisherman out there, when they see a lure, it isn't the striped bass sitting there and choosing what lure he likes. Obviously, Orlando, there are thousands of lure companies, from the small guy who makes 10 lures a year or whatever he's doing to guys like you who consistently work at it. I don't know what your number of lure is that you produce a month, but I know that you do produce every month because you are on a list and you try to keep or buy by that. But when you mentioned that you also buy plugs from other people, of course, we all buy different plugs. But from those thousands of companies, there only will be a couple of hundred that will, benefit. And that all comes down to everybody who uses these lures will eventually find out if they're dealing with a better company or a lesser company. Let's put it that way. So in the end, there will be a few hundred companies that will benefit. Always the top ones will benefit best. And from you, from what I see, from the lures that you produce, I mean, you have exceptional quality stuff, and I hear it from a lot of people. It's not only guys. You have to understand, a striped bass is a predator. So if he sees that lure and you're matching that fish bait out there, there's a good chance that your lure is going to get hit on. And sometimes, even if not, there's still a good chance that, because they're predators. They are kings of the oceans. These guys are predators. They will suck you down. So in the end, it matters also how you feel about the lure. Do you love it? Because if you love it, man, and you go out there and you fish that lure hard, you're going to catch a striped bass. I don't care. Doesn't mean you're going to catch a 60, or it doesn't mean that you're going to catch only a schoolie. You love that lure. You go and you buy it. And I buy Orlando's lures, or when I see Orlando's lures, I'm in love with those lures, because I was introduced to Orlando how? Not direct to Orlando. I didn't know who Orlando was. I have a subscriber. I went out fishing with him a few times, and he got this delivery of plugs in, and he showed them to me, and I was like, wow, these are really nice. Now, you know good lures and lures you buy in a package that come from Japan, all right, or wherever they're coming from. Japan makes good products, by the way. But those lures, you can't compare to guys who are sitting in their freaking basement working hard, such as Orlando from NorCal Cat, making them themselves. We'll also mention Larson lures. We'll mention 401 plugs. We'll mention, who else in Rhode Island I want to mention? Zinger Baits. These are lures that I made here, and I appreciate things that are made here. Not that I don't buy plugs, other ones. I do. I buy the cheaper stuff. But the love I have is for the love of the lure. And if I see that lure and I like it, I'm buying it. And if it's going to catch me more fish, I'm going to buy more of that lure. And I know when I see Orlando stuff, you guys see it. Check him out on Instagram. I got a message today already. Why? I went to his site. This guy makes beautiful stuff. Go check it out yourself. It really is beautiful. He puts care into it. And when somebody puts care into a product, that's when you're going to see the benefits. And when I say you're going to love the lure first. Then work the lure and watch the striper roll in for you. Fish the correct times, fish the correct moons, and grind a little. Don't just go out there one time, throw Orlando's lure and say, man, this lure sucks. No, you suck. I'm sorry if anybody's a subscriber and I said that, but the truth is fact, all right? And that's it. Orlando, I want to get back to you and your plug building and how I say that you care about your plugs. I've spoken to you before. I know you told me you make them in batches. Can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, so I usually make them in batches of about anywhere from around 200 to 300 plugs at a time.
Wow.
So like when I'm making, so I'll turn the wood for like all my metal lips that I'm going to do. And then I'll turn those all together. I'll make them like I have crates, and I turn the wood for all the metal lips, because the process to complete them is going to be very similar. That way I'm not wasting time setting up. So when I turn the wood, I do the drilling. After I turn the plug, I do all the through wire holes, the belly holes, and then I do the lip slots. That way, all those metal lip plugs, all those slip slots, all that's getting done at one time, like a factory. And then, I go on to the next thing. I say I'm working on pencils. So I'll turn all the pencils. So all the processes they're very similar. So I try to group them all together when I'm making them. So the goal is to complete those 200 or 300 plugs, at the very end, have them all done, but they get done in different batches. While I'm turning, let's say, my pencils, and I already did my metal lips, I'm sealing those, right? Those are getting sealed, and I let those dry for 5 days. And so I'm turning on my pencils and other plugs. And then when I'm done with the pencils, then I seal those, and the ones that were the metal lips that were getting sealed, now I'm painting those. So it's like they're all in different stages right now. Like right now I have plugs that have got painted. I got plugs that are getting sealed right now. I got plugs that are just, I already turned, and I got more plugs that I need to turn. So it's just like a constant, like a factory, man, just different processes going on and different style plugs. But I try to group them all together, so I'm not wasting time setting up, because you'll waste a lot of time setting up to make like one plug, and then change to make a different plug, then change to make a different plug. It's a lot of wasted time. So I try to make it as efficient on my side as possible. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of thought that goes into making plug. When you just make like one or like let's say 20 plugs.
Yeah, Orlando, I have to cut you off there because that was the next thing that I wanted to say about you is that you're not stale, bro. Bro, you're not stale. I don't think I've seen a double of your plug. Maybe we've talked about a double of your plug, but I don't think I've ever seen a double of your plug on Instagram. You consistently put out new things, and I love that about you. That's a definite, because when I collect people's plugs, and I have different groups of plugs of guys that I buy from, and those plugs that I have, they're all different from them. They're not just one guy that's making one type plug. They are making different plugs, and that's what I love about you. And you do make pretty plugs, my friend.
Yeah, people love the demon darter. This commenting, they love that demon darter out there.
I just did a fire sale on those yesterday. But you know, the different color plugs is not. I mean, yeah, it's me paying them, but that is thankful to the guys who support me and who are actually ordering the plugs, because every plug, for the most part, that's on my log, I'm making it exactly to what that angler wants. He tells me, I want a tog pattern, I want a mackerel, I want gold bottom with the black top with the red head. All those different colors is not really me, guys. It's coming from my customers. They're the ones telling me what they want. Because I paint them exactly to what they want. I don't make plugs and paint them, you know, how I want and say, hey, here's what's available. I do that for like my fire sales, you know what I mean? But if you're on my log, I am building exactly. I'm building you a custom plug. You are telling me, Orlando, I want it this color, this way, and whatnot. So a lot of those colors, and you see such a variety of it, it's because everybody has something else that they have confidence in. You know what I mean? To me, the reason why I do it that way, the color is a small percentage of what helps you catch fish. But what that does is the color, you're gonna go with your go-to colors. Like for example, what is your favorite color that you like fishing with?
My favorite
top water plug.
All right, my favorite top water plug would have to be, honestly, I gotta say white. White, man. Okay. I love white.
Let's say you're white, right?
Yeah.
So you want white. If I told you, hey Eric, all I have available right now is chartreuse with a red head.
I'm sorry, right? I'm saying yes, Orlando, but go ahead. I'm saying yes.
Versus if you say, hey, Orlando, you have a white, you know, like, yeah, I got a white, you're more than likely to throw that plug into your bag because that is your confidence color.
Yes, it is.
Versus if I tell you, hey, this is what I have, and then if it's a color, you're like, you don't have that much confidence. It may be somebody else's confidence color, but it's not your confidence color. I think you're more likely to put it in your bag. And that is like a quarter of the battle. From there, you have to have the confidence of knowing how to use that plug. And I tell you what, man, I could make the same plug for 10 different fishermen, and you're going to have 10 different outcomes.
Right.
Where they can fish the same area, but you're going to have it's just because there's a lot of factors. Knowing when to throw it, how to throw it, how to work it, how far to make a cast. Sometimes it's not always about distance. It's maybe cutting it short and cutting at a different angle. So you're going to get different results. And it's also what's your comfort level with that plug. I know guys that have never fished a metal lip. And you give them a badass metal lip and they have no clue what to do with it. Their confidence level is not there. So they could throw on a metal lip and they're probably going to fish it really wrong or not have confidence in it and not knowing it. They'll have it on for maybe 1 or 2 casts and they're going to snap it right back off because they're just not confident in it. So you almost, you know, when it comes to lures, you have to force yourself to learn lures on different styles. You can't just stick to like one style or one maker. You have to force yourself to try different things. And it's hard, especially when the fishery is tough or the fishing's tough. Most people are going to go to what their high confidence plug is, their go-to, what they caught fish on before. It is very hard to tell somebody, hey, let's put this on your lure, on your clip and fish it. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right. So check this out, Orlando. So a lot of guys are listening to you right now, and there's a lot of guys out there, that won't admit to some things, but in their mind right now, sitting there, what would you tell that guy right now? Okay, so he's out there and he's saying, oh, all right, I'm going to change up my lure. I'm going to try metal lip. What would you tell a guy now who's brand new, who's going out and he's going to take your advice? What would you tell him right now? Well, how would he go out there and fish it, And I understand, let's just say, you got a nice little full moon out tonight. There's not too much wind, maybe 2 to 3 miles an hour, and it's blowing in your face a little bit. Perfect. What would you tell that guy, Orlando?
It really depends. It's not what you see, it's what's under the sea.
Yeah, baby. Ooh, I love that.
A lot
Sit
of guys
me
go,
down.
oh, it looks perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The water looks all good, but what's under the sea is what matters. So that will help me determine that when I went and I visited you and we were going to go fish this area, was my first question to you. I was like, dude, I need to know more info. I need to know what. I don't care what it looks like from my view. I want to know what it looks like in the water where the fish are.
That's right. That's right. And it's a good thing.
In my point of view, over the water, I'm not going to catch fish in the air.
That's right.
I'm gonna catch them
and what did I tell you? What did I tell you that night? I said, it's a good thing I have 6 cameras in my studio, and one of them having to be underwater in that spot we're going to that night. But yeah, I get you, Orlando. And guys, I want you to know, when I went with Orlando, I was a little nervous that night because the guy was like, listen, dude, where are we going? And I told him, blah, blah, blah. We're going to need wetsuits. We're going to be crossing a little channel. It's going to be up to our chest. So we both had our wetsuits and so on. We're ready to go. And he still was like, listen, where are we going? What are we? And I told him the best I could tell him that night. I said, it's going to be high tide. We're dealing with a full moon. The gentleman we're going is the gentleman who introduced me to him with the plugs that I saw that he had, which were beautiful, by the way. Other than that, you know what happened the rest of that night. We're not going to tell people about the 65-pounder you got. We're not guys that are going to give, fish away like that. But other than that, I wish it worked out a little better, Orlando. And I felt a little bad what happened that night. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what you were talking about, which was you just wanted to scout the spots. And Orlando, I have to tell you, that when I was in Maine, those things I do know. So during the day, they were catching absolutely nothing over there. I drove to many beaches. I drove a couple of hours. I did go an hour and a half to go get eels. Nobody on the East Coast, I think, has eels. But anyway, there are some gentlemen, but they weren't close to me. But anyway, it was difficult. It was very difficult. And during the day, I went and I scouted. And I happened to get lucky, Orlando. The water was very low. It was the tide swings were 10 feet, but in some areas, I was looking down 30 feet, Orlando. And I went to some areas where I saw a ledge, and I saw it from a distance, about 100 yards away, and I had to find out how I was going to get there. So nothing better than being in the day in the sunlight. It was a little hot, but I didn't care. I traveled through that little forest I had to get to there, and when I finally got there, I was like, this is how I get there. So during the night when I came and it was night and all I had was my light, it was easy peasy. I got there. That's how I got my striper over there. I'll have a video out on that for everybody. But scouting is very, very important before you go to that fishing spot. And if you can't scout, my best bet would be Google above and Google sea. You can see the depths of the sea and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you're going to catch a fish, but this all stems to what Orlando was saying again, which was, scouting and knowing the area you're going to fish. It's a better chance of catching a fish. Orlando, back to you.
So, another thing is you have to think why would a striper come in there and feed? You saw the drop off, you saw the cliff, but there's thousands of cliffs. I mean, so why that specific cliff? You know what I mean? So
yes.
You have to look, is a striped bass going to be at an advantage or disadvantage by coming in there and looking for food?
Yep. I have to tell you, you asked that question now, and I have to answer that because I could get more into detail. I didn't wanted to make it easy. But there was a bunch of seaweed that grew, and when it came up, it came all the way to the top of the water. So a lot of these seaweeds were like 10 feet high, but on low tide, they were all laying on the rocks. So that's an advantage for a striped bass. Why? He feels more secure. He has a structure all around him as he's swimming through these things, looking for little fish hiding in these seaweeds. So yes, Orlando, I also looked at that, which was definitely 100% correct. And that's where I caught those fish that night. Schoolies, but I did catch them.
Yeah, good, good. So on top of that, thinking like the fish, the predator, you have to think as the bait fish. Those are two things that I'm constantly thinking in my mind. If I'm the striped bass, the predator, how am I coming in these waters? Why am I coming in these waters? And as a bait fish, why am I in these waters? And what is my reason for being in those waters? And what is my escape route? You have to think of it as the bait and as the predator. So when you combine those two, then you see a path for the bait to get out and come in, and for the predator to come in and come out, and a reason to be there. You will start finding more successful spots, because I know a lot of spots that you could fish and they're junk. It's not ideal for a bait to want to sit in there and look for food and also be protected. And also a predator, sometimes they're looking for the advantage 100% of the time. They're not going to try to go out in open water unless it's a school of like a million bunker. They could just plow right down the middle like a spear. But in most ideal locations, usually it's a small amount of bait. So they're going to look for the most ideal time to pounce on that bait, in the ideal situation where they're trapped, where the current is pushing the bait against something, and they could use that force of that current coming in to trap that bait. Once you understand how that works, then you can start picking out lures that mimic that bait or that presentation or that push of water that will mimic that, what you think is going to be happening in the water. You will start picking out lures that will kind of mimic that situation or that scenario.
That's correct.
You could throw 1,000 different lures, but you're going to get 1,000 different results. There's, in certain scenarios, in certain waters, there's stuff that will work just a lot more better. There's no one lure that works in every single scenario. There's sometimes you may pick the lure that ends up just landing you schoolies. And then by somebody switching up to a different lure,
it's correct,
different presentation, all of a sudden they're landing over slot fish. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, why am I only catching schoolies and this guy over here is catching all the big fish?
Thank you.
Small details, man. Small detail. That's why I said I could make the same lure for 10 different anglers and you can get 10 different results.
Thank you, Orlando, for making Mr. Poseidon a better surf fisherman. No, this isn't, honey, really, this is good. I love this, Orlando. Whether anybody wants to stay on the channel or not tonight, I'm getting all the knowledge because Orlando's on the show, and he has excellent knowledge all the time, Orlando. Thank you for that. Orlando, I want to continue on a little more. You told me a little earlier you were working on your boat. So for the boat fishermen out there, what were you doing in your boat? What type of boat do you have, and where do you go with your boat in California?
So right now I'm building a striper-specific boat for the river.
Wow.
Nobody makes something out there, so everything is being custom made. It's a 16-foot aluminum John boat with a 70 horsepower jet outboard on it. You can't run a prop on there because some of the waters in our river system is literally 6 inches of water. So you need to be able to skim that skinny water and to get past certain areas. So it has to be a flat bottom jet propulsion setup.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'm setting it up right now. It's 8 foot in the front of all casting deck. So I could cast for different angles on the front. I have 4 feet in the back, so if I have somebody with me, they can cast from the back. I have a 4-foot deck. I have all compartments, rod locker, all that stuff. But it's gonna be a center console, but it's not a center console with the cover. It's a center console that's kind of towards the middle of the boat because I need to keep the weight towards the front because I don't want my ass in to be low because I need that boat to plane. So yeah, it's a really specific setup that I'm building right now for this. There's not too many boats out there. A lot of them, you know, they make them and they try to make them work, but you know, I'm trying to make it where to where it's clutter free. You know, I have a front trolling motor that's going to be on there with GPS, spot lock, all that stuff. So you know, I could find them in a hole, and I'm going to be experimenting. I have a lot of these ideas. I don't want to kind of let people know what I'm trying to do because I want to make sure that I get them right. But I have a lot of techniques that I'm going to use, but I cannot do those techniques to catch those fish without certain tools. I need some I have a trolling motor with spot lock that helps me basically in current maintain that position. So if on my depth finder, I have side scan, I have all that stuff. If I find them in a certain area, sometimes they're just very finicky because the river system in ours, when you're fishing for striped bass, you got fast moving current water, but these striped bass, they feed out here like largemouth bass. They hide in these submerged trees and just sit there and wait for the river flow of food just coming to them. And when a fish, you know, a bait fish or whatnot comes by them, they come out of those trees and just pounce on that fish, and it could go right back into that tree. Because the reason is they're using those trees as cover. So yeah, like on my depth finder, I have GPS, map, all that stuff, Navionics and all that stuff, because I need to be able to know the route of that river where it's safe for me to take that boat. It's very complex, man, because you got these huge, when I say like, there's literally like hundreds to maybe thousands of submerged trees. So you have to learn how to maneuver around them and also maneuver around the sandbars and gravel bars.
Yeah, and any roots that are growing under there also. You got to know that path.
Yeah, so you have to know how to maneuver. So you basically have to, when you're drifting downriver, you have to learn how to snake your way, you know, basically downriver so you don't end up getting stuck or running over a tree that's, you know, just under the water, but it's got like a little bit of a branch. I love
what you're telling me, Orlando, with the boat and navigating. It's very, very hot to me. I love adventure. I love new adventure. What you're telling me about the sandbars. Obviously, I just mentioned to you about the roots, the trees. You got to be able to navigate. You can pretty much navigate an exact course for yourself once you get it all down right. And I'm pretty sure, Orlando, I know you very well. You probably didn't even bring your fishing rod and you went through that first time looking to how to navigate through it correctly.
So, yeah, I have a boat that I use, but to learn these waters, I bought like a real inexpensive boat. It has a jet outboard. It does also have, it's a 14-footer, but I purposely did not put a depth finder on it. I didn't put GPS, I didn't put nothing because I wanted to learn those waters without zero electronics.
Right.
So I could go to those waters now and I know my route just because I've fished them so much that I could go that route. I know where I need to be on the side of the river as I'm drifting down river. Okay, you know, we're coming up to this fast moving water here. It gets from, 5 feet, it gets right down to 6 inches.
Correct.
So I know where I need to be positioned my boat so I could just drift right across that.
So
I learned all that with zero electronics. Now this boat that I'm setting up, it's the real deal, and I'll be able to have history and all that stuff. But I could survive without it.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say. I'm sorry, Orlando, because you say so many interesting things that I want to ask questions on. And when you say things to me like, I don't need my navigation. I can tell you which every corner is. You're the real deal, my brother. That's why you know where every corner is, because that's the way it should be. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if there's ever an apocalypse, I want to be in that boat with you, my brother. No navigation needed. My man, right there, my brother. But that's good. I like that, Orlando. I really do. You are hardcore, my brother. Can you tell everybody a little bit? Now, we'll tell them a little bit about me. You know, I'm still fishing with the boga. I know I had mentioned to your buddy Moran Sexatilis that I'm thinking about switching over and not weighing fish at all. That's a little tough to do, Orlando, when you haven't caught a big fish like myself. I really want to know what the weight is. So you do have an option. And I know you're working on that option. It's sort of like a strap that'll go around the fish. You can lift it right out of the water, and you can get a, if not precise, excellent weigh on that fish to know how much it weighs. And the reason I say this, guys, is because when we grab a fish with the boga, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. It's legal. Do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do. But when you grab a fish from the lip and it's a big fish, like the little guy's no problem. But when it's a big fish and you lift it out of the water, remember, they're coming out of an area like being on the moon. When you see the astronauts walking, they don't have any weight inside of them pulling them down. So everything is just the same like the water. I'm trying to say this is easy so you can understand it. So when you lift them out of the water, all those guts inside and the heart and it's whatever it has going on in there is going to get compressed a little bit. And that's where the problems occur. Because when you start compressing things, things start to snap inside. So the fish might look lively and ready to go. When you're releasing it, it hurts me. Sometimes I catch that bigger fish. In the teens, I'm talking now, and I'm lifting it up. I still feel they're tough. But especially the fish that I catch in the rivers, if it's like an 18-pound fish, it's probably a pregnant mama. And when you turn it sideways, forget about what you do inside. So those are the things that Orlando is trying to work on to make it easy for us to get that weight count without damaging the fish, which is great. And that's what we look for to do. I know a lot of us out here are catch and release guys, and we try to be. So that is going to help us out. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Orlando?
Yeah, so I've been working with Luke from Z-Belts. We worked on this prototype basically for those who absolutely must know the weight. You know, you could do it multiple ways, but ultimately, if you do it by length, you know, by measuring it, you know,
length and girth, correct.
Yeah,
there's a formula.
Weight, or you know, there's a formula, but what I'm getting to is, if you're the type of fisherman that wants to know, you know, okay, I want to know the length. There's a wrong way to do that as well. I mean, if it's taking you 2-3 minutes to bring out your measuring tape and you're fumbling with it, and you know, if it's taking you a lot of time, then you're juring just as bad by keeping the fish out of the water.
Right.
So, what I always tell people is always have a game plan, always prepare. Like on my personal rods, I have marks on my rod to where I know, like I have a 30-inch mark, a 40-inch mark, and a 50-inch mark. So all my rods have those markings on my. You know, you could just take like a gold or silver Sharpie,
right?
Measure it from the butt of your rod and just freaking mark them with a Sharpie, with the silver or gold one. That way it stands out when you're, you know, if you're fishing at night. And if it fades out, just put another line again. You know, in a month or so, they last pretty long. It's not like they just wipe away. Just use a permanent silver or gold Sharpie marker, and they last a good while. That way, if you're the type of fisherman that knows the length, you're not fumbling looking for a measuring tape or any of that stuff. Another thing you could do is, like, if you must know the length of it, if you're on a sandy beach, you could always scrab a line with your finger at the tail. And then at the mouth of the fish, go revive and release it, come back and measure that line.
There you go.
Know what I mean? And so just always, what I always tell guys is always have a game plan. And if you do catch a nice fish and you must have a picture, you don't need a picture of every fish you catch. To me, there's some guys that have to have a picture of every fish you catch.
That's correct. I don't take a picture of every fish. I don't. I really don't. But if it's a big fish, Obviously, we all want that picture, Orlando, no doubt about it. But yeah, if you're catching schoolies like I did in the very start of my life, I must have had I have in Polaroids here. Forget about it. And it looks like the same fish, all 100 of the Polaroids. And I'm like a little bonehead in all of them. But anyway, other than that, we all been through that. So we all get a little older and we understand. And as we get older too, and if you're really, into conservation like I am, I want to save the fish. I don't want to be making videos on YouTube and advertising on Instagram. I don't do that. I don't. I want to release the fish, and I want to release them as in best possible health as possible. So going back again to Orlando, and we were talking about his boat. So Orlando, how far away are you from the new boat being built?
I'm hopefully have it done by end of October.
Very nice.
I'm crossing my fingers on that. But to get back,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to skip around too many subjects, but I do have that bag that Luke
designed.
So this is the bag. This is basically where you would cradle. Hopefully,
you know what it is? It's probably there you go. There you go. We could see it a little bit.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you gotta put it in front.
This is where you would cradle the striper inside here.
Yes.
Kind of popping out, but you would cradle in here. So you take your boga here.
Correct.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yep. It's okay, Orlando. We can see it.
And then you would clip on these D-rings here.
Right on.
Get your weight there that way.
Right on. If you put that boga grip in front of the Moran Sexatilis shirt, it'll show it perfect. Go ahead. Go down a little. Down. There you go. So there you see it, guys. You see the clip is hooked up to the two rings, and obviously the striped bass is directly underneath it. And it's a beautiful thing. The fish is saved. Cool. He's saved. I mean, how long are you going to keep him out of the water there? You don't have to.
You can actually revive the striper inside this bag while you're holding this.
That's a beautiful
thing. One thing I will tell you guys, if you're going to use a boga grip, always, this loop right here, let me see, put it in front of my shirt. This loop that's on the boga grip, always put it in your hand like this. Always. That should be your first thing you do with the boga.
Right.
Because I've known probably about 10 fishermen, now I'm not going to mention their names, where they grip like this, and they have the fish, they grip it by the lips, the fish shakes, and the fish swims off with the boga grip.
Oh, I have mine on a lanyard, thank goodness.
Always the first thing if you're going to use a boga, the first thing you should do is put this lanyard in around your wrist, then use this.
Orlando, I like that. I like that. Guys, that's very important because I never thought about that. I have mine on a lanyard. So if it tries to swim away, it'll get about 10 feet and I'll pull back in the lanyard. I am protected by that. But Orlando's right. If you don't have anything other than that, you better put that thing on your wrist because that striper has no problem carrying that thing around its mouth for the next 10 years. It'll be able to feed and everything. Hopefully you'll get it back one day. I doubt it. But anyway. Other than that, you heard what he said. Put it around your wrist. Protect yourself. Those things are expensive. 270. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, some guys like to tether them to their belts, but the only reason personally where I don't like doing that, it restricts movement. If you need to move over here to the right or the left, whatnot, it's only as far as that tether is going to get you. And if you're caught in a shitty situation, let's say you have this fish, right? And all of a sudden your lanyard's on your left side. And all of a sudden you get knocked off a rock, and all of a sudden you're in the water, the fish is in the water, the lanyard, everything, your pole, everything, just chaos. You're setting yourself up for failure. So I typically don't like to have too many things tethered to me stuff like that, So even my pliers, like I don't use like expensive pliers to unhook. I have 2 sets of pliers, one heavy duty, one light duty. My light duty ones, I don't buy expensive ones because I don't like putting them on a lanyard because I want to be able to have that free movement wherever I need to go. If it's on a lanyard, man, freaking stuff can happen. I've seen so many scenarios where stuff can go south real quick. So I try to limit myself. I know guys buy VS pliers and all that stuff. I typically don't spend my money on that because whether I have a VS plier, or I have a cheap, $50
Yeah.
set of pliers,
Or a $20
it's gonna
pair.
it's gonna hook the fish almost the same way.
No doubt about it. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest.
If I lose a $20 one,
Yeah.
or it gets bent or whatnot, I'm not sweating. I'll just go buy another.
I hear you. We all have our different tastes and everything, obviously. And for those people who do use those $20 pliers, don't worry about it. As long as you bring that plier home and rinse it in fresh water, good, it's going to be great. If you don't, that second time you use it, it's over. Just remember that. Just rinse it, because you can use that one. Just rinse it really good. Play with it. Oil it up a bit. WD-40 be doing a beautiful job. Other than that, he's right. He can do anything. But everybody has their own preferences, so you use what you want to use, as Orlando does himself. Orlando?
So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I just use what I feel is the safest setup as possible, because I'm always thinking, what is the worst case scenario? What could happen, and how am I going to get out of that?
Right.
So that's the way I try not to bind myself up too much. If something has to drop down and that keeps me from being tangled up or all twisted up, I'm okay with that, man. My life is probably a lot more important than being all
right,
worried about some expensive pliers.
That's right. So, I hear you, Orlando. I hear you on
like
that.
I said, everybody's gonna do it their way. I'm just speaking off personal experience.
Yep.
Every time I go to an area, I'm thinking how I'm gonna land a fish, where I'm gonna swing around, or all that stuff. So, but yeah, man, freaking. Hopefully, this bag, it's a little bit cumbersome. I think we need to change the material, but the idea's there.
Yeah, the idea's there. I see it.
The idea's there. On a boat, perfect. It's a perfect application. But
sure.
I think for like a surf angler, somebody fishing off a rock, I need something a little bit more less cumbersome, something a little bit more flexible, something that can maybe fit in a single tube bag. They can just pop out real quick.
You guys hear that, right? You hear Orlando? He's basically asking, right? Anybody got any good ideas? And I don't care who anybody is. Nobody's making $1 million off this, so don't worry about it. If you got a good idea, hand it over to Orlando. It's going to help the rest of us in this whole conservation thing for the striped bass to keep it going for generations to come. So if anybody's got any good ideas, any ideas at all, land them over. You want to make one yourself and send it over to Orlando, and he likes it and it works, hey, it's a beautiful thing. So feel free to do that. Nobody is here to steal anybody's idea. And if you do steal it, good luck. You're going to make $50 on it. I'm letting you know right now, and that's it. Orlando's doing this for conservation. Go ahead, buddy.
You're not going to get rich off this stuff.
That's right.
I just want to create something that gives somebody the option that, like, okay, if you must weigh your fishing, you're the type that must know the weight, why not offer a better way to do it other than hanging it off the lip off a boat? Like, okay, let's support it and get the weight.
Thank you.
So I'm just kind of thinking out of the box. Let's figure a way out for those anglers. So this one, like I said, would work good on a boat, or if you're fishing a pier or whatever it may be. But I need to figure out a little bit better. Same layout, same shape, same everything. But I think the material needs to be something a bit more flexible that can roll up.
Sure.
I'm looking at different materials right now. This is something, honestly, man, I wish those bigger companies should freaking jump on and do. Like, companies, I'm not going to, like, throw them on blast and say they should be doing it, but I wish they would. Like, companies like Sims, this is stuff that, fuck them, they should be offering.
I know, man, you're right.
If you're going to talk about, we're all conservation and we're trying to best, like, why not make product like this for the fishermen?
Right.
Why should a small guy in a freaking garage try to figure this stuff out? I mean,
right.
I mean, I wish they would step up.
You have these professionals.
Hey guys,
yes.
I mean,
yes.
I know they see this stuff happening, and it's like, but I know the answer to that. It's because it doesn't make money. You're not going to become rich off of this.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the answer.
You know what, man?
I know that. It's the honest truth, man. It's not going to make them money.
Well, Orlando, that's why we're counting on guys like you, or at least I am, because I have so much more going on in my life. You know, trying to make videos, trying to make this live stream, and I know you do too. But I'm counting on you, buddy. Come through with that. I'll be your first buyer. And we'll do giveaways with that baby also, without a doubt. We'll do giveaways. You know me. And talk about giveaways.
When I get it figured out, I'll let everybody know.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I think the design, the dimensions, the D-rings, that's there. It's there. We just need to figure out something a little bit more flexible for the guys who are fishing the surf, or, you know, they're fishing from shore or whatnot. I just want to give them a little bit more lighter option, something a little more flexible for them. Because I made what I did before I made this. I actually remember. I don't know if you talked to Eduardo, but he kind of copied my idea because he saw it and he's like, "Dude, why don't I do it?" I took a supermarket bag that you buy. You know, they're like they're kind of like.
I know exactly what they are. Yes. And
I just put D-rings on them. You know, the ones that have like a. You could get at like Harbor Freight, and basically the same idea. The only thing I didn't like about it was just too skinny. You know, they're only like, I don't know, 15 inches wide. I wanted something a bit wider so it could offer more support.
Sure, absolutely.
But that's what Eduardo used to measure his big fish for the Bill Wetzel's tournament.
Oh, you know? Okay, good to know. So, very nice to know.
He made his own just using a supermarket bag, just cut off the ends to it, so that you just cradle the fish in there. You know.
Yeah, well, I know he's definitely a conservationist just by watching his videos and seeing that he doesn't use a boga grip, and he's just a good guy. He knows how to fish and he does it right.
Yeah. Here's a comment from Rick Hernandez saying everything has a con. Like, that's a lot of protective slime that would be coming off the fish. Is that true?
Correct. So you have to use the right material. That's where I'm thinking like, okay, it has to be something slippery that won't take that slime off. So on this stuff, it's like a clear plastic.
Yeah.
So it's not going to absorb any slime.
Sure.
Which is good, but the problem is it's just bulky. It doesn't fold up and roll up. It's bulky. Yeah. So I'm looking, you know, maybe something that's like plasticky, but with holes in it that won't, you know, protect the slime off. It's just there's a lot of freaking figuring out the right material for it, man. Another thing is, you know, you want it to also like not be so heavy and like have the water like soak it up or whatnot. So we're constantly on the drawing board trying to figure it out on top of the million other things I got going on.
Right.
It's tough, dude. But you know, little by little, I'll get it there eventually.
I know you will.
You know, I just wanted to kind of figure something out for those guys who must know the weight. You know.
Absolutely.
So.
Right now, right in the middle of the show here, I should say. We started a little late tonight because of the no sound. Sorry for that for everybody. But we're going to do a little giveaway here. And I'll tell you how this giveaway is going to go. It's going to happen right now. This has nothing to do with the giveaway we're going to be doing. We have a great giveaway tonight. You guys saw it on Instagram. Make sure you're a subscriber and you're here tonight to win that prize. But right now, we're going to do a little giveaway. I got a R&R tackle Flare Hawk jig. That's a 1.5 ounce. That's up there, right there. There you see it. Then I got a Dead Reckoning bucktail. Now, Dead Reckoning makes some excellent product out there. There he is right there, Dead Reckoning bucktails. And also we have Back River Customs. I had won this one in the Bill Wetzel giveaway. It came with a couple of Back River Customs. But tonight's answer and question is going to be right here, and Orlando knows it, so he has to let me know when he sees it. Do you have a screen up there, Orlando, in front of you?
A screen, yeah.
Okay, so you see everybody's chat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you a question, Orlando, and the first guy to answer the correct answer is the winner of those 3 bucktails right now. So what I'm going to ask you, Orlando, is this. So your biggest striper that you caught, do not answer that. That's not the question. Your biggest striper that you caught was how many pounds, Orlando? And this was recently, correct?
45.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about that fish first before we get to those beautiful bucktails.
Do you want to know the story behind it? Or you
Yeah,
wanna
sure.
know,
The
like,
story, buddy. The story is what counts here. We're fishermen. We love fishing stories. Come on.
So, I was fishing the river. We, I had about, I want to say 5 trips prior, of going out to the river fishing from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening, and we hadn't caught a fish, not even a single strike. We were trying to be ahead of the gun, uh, and we're just I was also using it as a time to explore and learn the waters, but it was a lot of hours prior of like no connection. People don't understand how hard it is to find big fish on the West Coast. You have to be willing to put in a lot of hours, and like I said, it's probably 5 sessions of just constantly just casting your arm off. I mean,
Right.
from different angles and whatnot. So we fished this body of water. We probably covered about 8 miles. Did 2 drifts in the morning, and about noon, we had 0 results. And I told my buddy that I fished with, I said, "Hey man, freaking, what do you think we freaking pack up the boat and drive up 30 miles up river more, and we'll launch from like 30 miles upriver and try it out there." He's like, at this point, he's like, "Fuck, I don't give a fuck. I'm down." So we fucking went up river, got out of the water, got in the truck, loaded everything up, freaking drove 30 miles up north more, got back in the water, launched, and we started drifting. And it was probably about 2 o'clock. You know, bright sunny day, no cloud cover, nothing. It was just a bright ass day. Probably like, if I would say like striper conditions, probably like the worst striper conditions that I would want to fish in. But we're already there. You know, literally, it's from where I was fishing, it's like a 2-hour ride back home. So it's like once you're there, you're like committed. You're like, we're pounding it out, because I'm not gonna ride 2 hours back for just to fish a couple hours, you know. So it was about 2 o'clock, and there was this one. So we were drifting down the river, and there's one point that we're coming around. It was a point going. It had a S bend on the river, and around that last part of the S bend, it went into like a little cove. So as I'm drifting, I'm trying to stay close to shore, but not too close to shore. So I was casting. So I casted inside to that cove. I was using my 11-inch Scaredy Squad that I have. It's a 2-piece swim bait. And freaking within like 3 cranks, dude, I was like, boom! I immediately knew
Right.
it was a freaking nice fish, dude. I immediately knew. She didn't splash on the water, nothing. As soon as I had hooked her, it was like, stuck.
Yeah, baby.
And I was like, oh, I'm like, this is a good one. And then as soon as I said, this is a good one, my buddy, the fish was on the shore, in the shallow water. It freaking ran straight to the middle of the river.
Ooh.
In the current.
Of course.
So I just and at that point, you're not going to stop what she's going to do. So I just my goal was to keep, anytime I hook a fish, my goal, if possible, is always to try to keep the lure in front of the fish. I never try to, like, for example, here, I'll use this. Let's say this is the fish's mouth, right?
Right.
This is my lure. If the lure's stuck here, I usually try to keep my rod tip to where it's pulling this way, so my rod tip is kind of the angle here. I never try to drive it this way.
Yeah, I get it, man. That's advantage fish.
So I always try. So my goal was to let her do what she's gonna do. She was running towards the middle of the river, but I also wanted to position my rod tip and myself to where I'm always keeping it in front of her face. And then I just started buckling down. So like, once she made that first one, I started like using my rod, putting a lot of pressure, and then I use high-speed reels, because what I do is I put a lot of pressure on the rod to like kind of, I feel her moving, and then I use that high-speed pickup on the reel to pick up that slack. Use the rod bend, and then pick up that slack. So I did that. She made a second run, and then I just started like putting the power to her, and freaking probably within, I don't know, 2 minutes, I had her landed.
Yep.
So we landed her, and so we landed her. I got a grip on her, and then I kept her in the water. I didn't unhook her, nothing. I just kept her in the water, and I said, hey, let's ride. We're already close to shore. Let's ride to the shore, and beach the boat, and I'll revive the fish near the shore.
Sure.
So we did that. We beached. My buddy took care of that. We beached the boat, and I was at the tail end of the boat, and I just jumped from the boat into like 4 feet of water. I just jumped in. I didn't care about getting wet.
Of course.
Any of that stuff.
Of course, Orlando.
I just jumped in the water. Freaking was holding her. Started reviving her. I started putting her face in the current. She was still hooked and whatnot. So, to me, that's fine. She could deal with the pain. What I wanted I wanted to get oxygen into her gills. So,
right.
So I just revived her, and then while I'm reviving her, and making sure that she's getting some life back in her, I told my buddy, hey, get your camera ready. Let's get a quick picture, and he's like, all right, cool. So I'll let you know when it's ready, dude. When she starts to kick, freaking, I'll let you know. And then so after like a couple of minutes, she started like feeling like a kick. I was like, all right, buddy, freaking, let's do it. So I lifted her out of the water real quick, got a couple shots, then put her right back down. I just revived her, and I was like, all right, dude, let's get a couple more shots, and that's it, dude. And I was like, all right. So I lifted her out of the water real quick, got a couple more shots, and then fucking put her back in the water. Literally, I didn't have her out of the water more than like 10 seconds, dude.
Sure.
It was like super quick.
Yeah.
From there, I had her inside the water. I unhooked my bait while she's being submerged in the water. I unhooked the lure, threw the lure over, and then freaking just kept on reviving her. And then I got my bag. I had my buddy help me out on that and said, hey, just put the bag around her, whatnot. And then we clicked on the boga with the clip with the
without a doubt.
And freaking lifted her out of
I
the
saw
water.
that picture, brother. That's a fact, guys. He did lift that up with
and then 45 pounds, man. Freaking.
Yep.
I normally don't care about weight, but people always ask you that. So
it's important, man. It really is. We have to look at the other side too, and how many people want to weigh, such as myself. But you know what? I think I forgot the association. Measuring it by length, by girth, by the fattest part of the body, which is the girth. Go ahead, Orlando.
So when we had her in the bag, we also freaking got the measurement because I had her in the bag in the water, and then she's sitting there for me. And I said, so my buddy got a measuring tape, and he just measured her while she's in the bag. He measured her.
Right.
So she taped out at 47 inches from tip to tip. So,
beautiful, baby.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fish. I saw those pictures. Beautiful fish. I know you also had a picture done for yourself. I think it was on Riverkeeper had done it for you. Beautiful picture.
Draw it out for me.
Yeah, without a doubt. Those are nice memories of life, especially when you put so much energy into this, I'm not going to say just hobby, but industry that you do, Orlando. And you do all the way from making plugs to conservation and to all in all, in the true aspect of everything, to have fun, to make sure you're having fun and you love what you're doing. Because if you put everything together, including the fun, there will be a fun time for other people in the future to enjoy this beautiful thing of striped bass. Now, I want you to tell everybody here a little bit, Orlando. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's continue on that giveaway. So that fish was how many pounds, Orlando, would you guess at?
45.
45 pounds. 45. That's a beautiful fish. So, guys, a little while ago, I just showed you these lures. There are 3 different type of bucktails. One is from R&R Tackle. The other is Back River Customs. And the last one, the Dead Reckoning bucktails. These are all nice bucktails, nice to have in your collection. because we know how important bucktails to us is because we lose them all the time. We use them much. So anyhow, okay, so the question was, what was the biggest fish Orlando ever caught? What was the second biggest fish they ever caught? I want people to post that right now. So let's go. And when you see it posted, Orlando, please let me know. And as the things come in. So we got Edwin Rivera, 44.
Are we going by pounds
Weight
or inches?
or-
Pounds.
Okay,
By
so
weight.
my second biggest fish.
Yeah.
I
Don't
didn't
say
get
it.
weight.
Don't say
I
it.
didn't.
So you didn't. So how about inches?
Okay, I could go. Let's do inches.
Okay,
'cause I
so
just
let's
got
do
it.
inches, guys. The second biggest fish he caught in inches starting right now. I'm sorry for that first one. Let's go. So inches. I want to see the inch sign after it. Kurt Long, 44 inches.
Rick
28.
Hernandez got it.
Who? Rick Hernandez?
Yeah.
Okay.
46.
46 inches. Okay, Rick Hernandez. Rick. You got it, Rick. You win the prize. Congratulations. You win those. You'll get that along with your prize of... Rick Hernandez had won in the Striper Poseidon First Annual Challenge in Piermont. He won a nice striper. This was the picture he's getting from Riverkeeper. It's got a little plaque on the bottom that says Mr. Poseidon's First Annual One-Day Striper Challenge 2022, Piermont, New York. First place, Rick Hernandez, and there's a whole book more behind the other side of this. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
cool.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations to also Rick Hernandez, 46 inches. All right, so we're going to continue. Guys, you know that I have the other giveaway tonight, and I'm going to be a little specific. I know I wrote it on, I had posted on Instagram. So if you look at the overhead I got on right now, first off, we're going to start off with Zinger Baits. That's 5-inch. You got 4 pieces in there, shads, Manic Minnow. These guys are dynamite. I mean, I use Zinger Baits all the time, every year in the winter. I go certain areas that I love using these plastics. And I did get my first striper in Maine with a Zinger Bait. You'll see that on the video. Thank you, Mike, for that. Excellent. Also, you're going to get a flying darter. That's made by Oceanborn. That's a 7-inch, 2-point of 5/8 ounce lure. Beautiful lure. I would use this at night, most likely. You can use it whenever you want, whenever you like. And finally, the bag that you're going to win tonight is a Ebbpoint.
This is for giving away tonight, or
Yeah, my wife is worried again. So this is tonight's giveaway. If you had put a comment in last week's live stream, left a comment on the bottom, and you're here right now, I'm going to announce it. This is a 2-2 bag made by Ebbpoint. Beautiful stuff here. And also I have here a 2022 Surf Ball raffle prize that you had won, honey, on that one. We made a little bit of a donation there to the Bill Wetzel Shindig, which was wonderful. And she had won this. So we're going to donate this to this gentleman here who wins this bag so he can get his dividers. And if anybody doesn't know what they are, I'll show you real quick. Keep one back here on the back of my thing. So here's the divider. It'll go inside the tube, which is specifically made for Ebbpoint's bag. This is a little taller, this one. But you'll get one specifically designed by you. It'll come with this bag, with the 2 lure packages. This is a nice gift. We'll be giving that at the end of the show, which is coming soon, but not soon enough because I have Orlando on and I don't want to go yet. And if you guys want to go, be my guest. But anyhow, going back to Orlando once again. Orlando, always thank you for coming on to my show. We had a cancellation, and at the last minute, you did me such a nice favor to come on, man. You're a good man, and I love having you on. I wish I could have you on every week, but yeah, these guys, you know, they all want different guests all the time, but I'm definitely going to have you back again. You really are an excellent guest. Guys, if you're out there new about my channel, surf fishing videos, mainly striped bass, we talk about products that I like, such as Orlando's NorCal Cat Lures. Check them out. Please check them out on Instagram. Really, really beautiful stuff. I'm not going to steer you wrong. Mr. Poseidon's game is getting registered, trademarked, And I'm doing that for a reason, because I want to back up products that are good products. And I'm not just going to back up anybody's products. I'm not just going to say anything about them if I don't like them. Not that that makes me any kind of professional, but I am like every other surf fisherman out there. And we know what we like. And I know what I like. So anything that I feel is a good product, I will always advertise, such as NorCal Cat. Going back to Orlando now. What else, honey? Do you want to ask Orlando any questions before we start asking the audience out there?
No, I'm good. I was trying to see.
What do you mean, no, you're good? Orlando wants to talk to you. What are you talking about? Orlando, ask my wife a question.
I want to.
The easiest one to ask is, how do you take your husband? Go ahead.
How do you put up with Eric?
Oh, my God.
There you go. It's a beautiful. Let's put on that music for that one. Yeah, baby.
I'm just laughing at the comments.
Yeah.
Oscar. Very funny. Yeah, people want to get to the random comment picker.
Yes, they do want to get to the random con. But you know what? Yeah, the condom picker, right. Oscar gets everything I say. I love you, Oscar. You're the best.
Oscar.
There's been many times. So, okay, before we go, I'm going to put it. Is this the phone number, honey?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so I'm going to put up this phone number. Can you guys see it? Let me put this up alone a second. So there's the phone number, guys. Call this number now. You got the phone, honey? Call this number now. It's a Google number that we put in. And you get to speak to Orlando direct. So first one to call, we'll, let me get the, okay, the Bluetooth's on. You can put the gray. So call this number and you can get to speak to Orlando. Yeah, baby, let's do this. Come on, hurry up. You know, there's lots of more fish for Orlando to catch.
Whoever has a question.
Yeah, whoever's got a question, please call this number.
845
You know, it
213
yeah.
3895.
38.95. Let's do the overhead on this one. This will look better. Ooh, look at this. There it is. 845-213-3895. Get to speak to Orlando live right now. Any calls coming in, honey?
Unknown caller.
Unknown caller. This is it.
Hold on.
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
Did you update your warranty?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, honey. You can answer. Speak. You can't hear you. I got your mic shut off.
Hello?
There you go. My wife's getting the caller together, Orlando. And once she gives me the go.
Are you Drew Amuse?
We're very excited. This is the first time tonight.
So what's your next trip, Eric?
My next trip right now is the canal. I'll be heading there on the 28th. I'm going to meet up with some friends on the canal. They live there. They know where they go. Actually, I'm going to meet up with Night Shift Fishing. Nice guy. I got a bike all ready to go through my friend in Long Island. He has one of those electric bikes. And at my age, Orlando, I need all the help I can get, my friend. So I'll be cruising back and up and down. And then by the end of that trip, the fall season will slowly approach us in the Long Island area, also Rhode Island and Massachusetts again. We'll start getting hit for the fall season, which I'm very excited about, and I can't wait.
What rod and reel and line setup are you going to use for the canal?
Okay, so for the canal, I have this in my mind. Right now, I have a 50-pound braided line. I'm thinking of going up to 60-pound braided. Not that I'm going to catch a 60-pound fish, but I just want to be on the safe side. Also, I'm going to use my regular 80-pound leader that I always use, and I like to do that, Orlando. I like to wrap it around my hands a few times. It feels like a rope, and I can pull that fish in, no problem. 3 feet, I'm going to be using about a 100-pound swivel, and the same with the clip, about a 100-pound rated clip on that.
What rod are you using?
As far as the rod, I'm planning on using 2 rods. I'm going to be using my GSB, which is my 101 MS, and that rod is rated for 2 to 5 ounce. I'm probably going to be tossing out all 4, 5, and 6 ounces. I'm probably not going to use that rod for that, but I do have a Century that can handle that. It's actually a product by Century made. It's not called the slingshot. It's not called anything because it was a prototype that I had bought. And I've been using that. Very good rod. So those are my 2 go-to rods on the canal.
How many feet are those rods?
Okay, one rod is 10 feet and the other one is 11 feet. I wouldn't
You're
use...
probably going to be better off with the 10.
Yeah, tell me.
11 is going to be, for especially if you're on a low tide.
I get it.
11 is going to get in your way, dude, to make that cast.
I get it, for the back rocks behind you. I get it, Orlando.
Correct.
I
so
get
you're
it.
probably better off with a 10-footer.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, man, that current, once it gets moving, man,
Sure.
Just keep that in mind, and like just sit back and watch how people, like, when they cast.
Of course.
Ideally, the person that is to your right,
Yeah.
you want them to cast first.
Yeah.
So once they cast and they start drifting, then you cast, and then your lure's falling behind them.
Yes,
You
of
never
course,
wanna cut off
Orlando.
the guy.
Yeah.
It's, like if the current's going from left to right, you never want to cast first and then him cast, because a lot of times that's how your lines are going to collide. So always be aware of that. I don't want you to freaking, because then that's
I
how
get
fights start, man. And then if you can't handle the fish, and it just creates freaking.
Yeah. I don't see myself actually going under that bridge and fishing with a heavy crew, especially being my very, very first time there. I would like to go a little further down the river. I'm a type of guy that believes those fish got to get to that bridge. They got to go by me first if I'm way down river or way up river. Either way, that first time, I know I'm a little hesitant myself, so I'm not going to be so how can I say that word, to go out in front of the line. I won't do that. So I'll sit back and I'm going to do it. And especially
just observe how everybody's casting.
Yep.
Like having a good casting rotation is key, dude. Like it's very similar to fishing a jetty. Like if somebody doesn't follow that flow, man, it can fuck everything up.
Absolutely.
Once you start hooking up on fish. So just kind of observe, you know what I mean, and keep that in mind, man. So you have a good time out there.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for that. All right, so I got a caller waiting to speak to you. And who do we got on, honey?
It's Drew.
Drew, what's up, buddy? How are you? We got Orlando on. Drew, are you there?
Can you hear him?
I don't hear him. Drew, are you there?
There you go.
Hello.
Drew, you there?
Hello.
Yep.
Hey, there
I'm
he is.
here. How you doing?
How you doing, Drew? Drew, go
Hey,
ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm good. I have a question. With all your experience for striper fishing, where is your favorite place to go?
For striped bass, I would say my favorite place to go, just because it makes life easier, is the East Coast. I like New England waters. It really depends. There's so many different areas to fish that is so freaking good. But I would say just I like New England waters, man. It's just there's a lot of good opportunities for very high quality bass in certain times of the year. So yeah, in the surf, all outside of New England, man. So
there you go.
Cool.
So
thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys too.
Oh man, thank you also, buddy. I appreciate
and
you.
Back at you, man. What about you? What's
your
favorite?
Yeah.
spot?
What's your favorite spot?
Oh, I'm a seaside, Island Beach, LBI,
Nice.
all the way to Asbury Park, that area up there.
So you're catching fish early in the season and late in the season, without a doubt.
Yes. That's my favorite time, early and late.
Thank
Mr.
you.
P, Drew says he met you actually.
Did he?
over
Yeah,
there
I
in the
met you.
Jersey
I met
area.
you in Grumpy's about a year and a half ago.
Ah, Guppies.
I was in Grumpy's store, and then we sat on the bench right out there that goes into the beach, and I gave you my card and everything.
Oh, I
This is
remember you now. I shared my chicken McNuggets with you. I remember you. Yeah, brother. You are the man, my brother. Now I remember you. Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Very funny.
Thank you, Drew. Drew, you were real,
Hey, thank
man.
you,
You
man.
said you were going to come to the show.
There you
Oh,
go.
man, Drew. Man, brother, thank you so much for
Thanks
that.
for calling, Drew.
Thank you, Drew. God bless
All
you,
right.
brother.
See you soon out there.
All
See you
right,
soon,
everybody,
buddy.
have a good.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Drew.
take care. Bye
Thank you,
now.
Drew. Go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Man, that was great that day, and it was perfect. He goes, "You got any honey mustard?" I was like, "I got it right here, brother." It was a good day on that. I remember that day, honey. And my wife was calling me. She's like, "What do you mean you're sharing your chicken McNuggets with somebody?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand. He's a surf fisherman." I don't want to hear that. Who are you sharing your nuggets with? Anyway, oh man, that was so cool. So go ahead, guys, give another call. Orlando, you got a few minutes, right, buddy?
I got all the time.
Beautiful.
My family's in Hawaii right now.
Oh man, maybe you should be with them, my brother.
Man, I just took, like I said, I did that trip back east and freaking.
Yeah.
I can't take any more time
Sure,
off, man.
sure, I get it.
My wife and daughter and her cousins, they all took off to Hawaii, so they're having a good time out there. So I'm
Unknown caller.
solo at the house.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ooh, I like that. Oh, Orlando, my goodness. If they go and have a hamburger, you know it's costing you $25 a hamburger, buddy. You know that, right? Oh my goodness. Got to make more than 500 a batch this month, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Orlando. I hear you. So we just got another caller in. My wife's hooking it up. And as soon as he's all set, we'll get him back to you. This is fun. I like that. I'm glad. That guy Drew, I can't believe it. He said, I'm going to come to your show.
That's
I'm like,
cool,
okay,
man.
but now I know who he is, you know,
It's
which is
funny
like,
that you remember that you gave the dude chicken McNuggets. That
You
is
ready?
freaking comedy, dude.
yeah, baby, I love it. We got another guy. Who we got on, honey?
Okay, so it's Chuck Dumas.
Who?
Chuck.
Chuck Dumas. Come on, Chuck. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing great, Mr. P. How you doing? How you doing, Orlando?
Yeah, Chucky.
what's
Go
up,
ahead. You
man?
got the floor, Chuck. Go ahead.
All right, Orlando. Probably a stupid question, but I'm just curious, roughly, how many lures do you make a year?
I would say, probably close to 1,500 to 2,000.
You're a millionaire, Orlando. I know. I get it, Orlando. I get it, buddy. I'm teasing when I say that.
Wow.
1,500 to 2,000, somewhere around there.
Wow, that's a lot
It
of work.
fluctuates just because, depends how much fishing I get and, just life in general.
Sure.
But, about 1,500 to 2,000, I would say would be a safe bet. But, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Nice.
Amazing, man. That's a lot of work.
So tell me more. Tell me more.
I
You
wish
got
I could put out more, man. Honestly, it's just, it's a one-man show here, and it's there's so many steps to making a lure that
Yeah, right.
it's just I'm as efficient as I could be without having like employees, man.
Right.
And so I just try my best, man.
I know when you say, Orlando, that you work very hard at it, and just like me and my wife, I mean it, Orlando. We work very hard on this live stream. It isn't just switching on a button every week. I'm consistently calling people, trying to get guests on all the time, and try to keep everything in order, and doing the videos and editing. And my wife is on the other side, printing everything on for every week. It's different. So it's a lot of work, and I totally understand when people, have businesses and they really work hard at them, because it's a lot of work. I totally get it. Going back to
Thanks
Chuck.
for calling, Chuck. Where are you from? Where
Yeah,
do you-
Chuck,
where's-
tell us.
Where area do you fish at?
Just
Around.
South Massachusetts.
Ah,
Oh, very cool. So I was there a
nice.
few weeks ago. I know the fishing is actually, I'm hearing is very hot there. I also check out Striped Bass Hunt. I see his post on there. He had a nice post yesterday with a nice fish yesterday morning. But so those are the areas you fish, Chuck, correct?
Yeah, a little south of what Finn fishes.
I see.
I'm south of, and he's north of Boston.
Oh, very nice. Very
Ah,
nice.
Very cool. All right, awesome, Chuck. Thanks for calling in. Nice to hear your
Chuck,
voice.
thank you so much. And yes, like my wife said, it's very nice to hear your voice because you see everybody on the show.
Yeah.
But you can't, until you finally hear it. Now I got a voice to the. Now next thing is what? The face. We'll see you at We'll see you at the New England Fishing Show maybe next year.
All right, awesome guys, great show. Have a good one. Take it
Thank
easy,
you.
Orlando.
God bless,
All right,
brother.
thank you,
Thank
man.
you so much, man.
Take care.
All right,
Hey,
so
Eric,
we'll
somebody
take.
asked in the chat
Yes.
if you had the number again. So I don't know if you want to take more callers, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna put that number up one more time. There you go. We'll get another caller in there. Go ahead.
Once I get a call, realize though I gotta reject everybody else because I can only get one.
Yeah, we
person
can
at a
only do one at a
time.
time. It's not like you're gonna have 30 guys going, "Hey, Orlando, what kind of burger do you like?" All right, listen, buddy. We got 30 questions coming in here. Sorry, Orlando. McDonald's burgers are delicious, but anyway. So go ahead, guys. Give that number a call.
Chappy from Ocean State-based
Oh, there
fishing.
he is. Chappy's
There you
coming
go.
on. There you go. All right, get a hold of Chappy, honey. I got the mic off. Don't worry about a thing. I only got mine on. Give Chappy a hello. Is he ready? Okay. Chappy, you there, buddy?
There we go.
I'm
Chappy?
here.
Yeah, buddy Chappy. Chappy, sorry about the delay. Your stuff's going out tomorrow. It's already in the package. No, it's not, but I'm doing it tomorrow.
No rush.
Yeah.
No rush.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
I got a quick question for Orlando.
Yes.
I scored one of his plugs at the Saltwater's Edge Striper kickoff,
Well,
and it's the little pop-up.
yeah.
oh, you were cutting out there.
I think you're cutting out. What's up?
cutting out. Say that again, Chappy.
Okay. I scored the little pop-up.
Oh, you got a fish on it, is what you're saying.
No. So I make
No.
a little popper,
Okay.
like a little 4.5 inch popper. It's
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
good back bait, little popper, man. The little back baits, man. It crushes. So
Delicious. All right. So
In what conditions would you recommend me throwing that, Orlando?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
I think in what conditions?
In what conditions would you recommend me throwing that in?
That one's perfect for like back bays. Like if you got a little bit of a current, like choppy water, not like chop, but and then in the back bays, man, freaking just cast that thing and just little pops, like little not heavy pops, little subtle pops. Just keep on popping it. You could work it like a spook almost if you want. You can work multiple ways. I like to mix and match. So what I'll do is I'll work it like a spook. I'll pop, make it kind of walk, and then stop, and then pop, stop, pop, stop, then pop, like mix, like give it an erratic method of popping. Don't do a single like pop. Give it like almost like a panic feeling, like it's struggling. That's what you're trying to mimic is a struggling fish. So a little back bay, something that's shallow water, no deeper than 3-4 feet, it would probably be something ideal that I would work that little thing,
Right.
especially if there's like little bunker around or little peanuts and stuff. Man, freaking that's gonna freaking wreck them, dude. So
yeah. Chappy.
All right, good to know. That's great information.
Yeah, Chappy, listen, I also want to say thank you very much, man. I appreciate your support on my channel. You're a wonderful man. For those guys who don't know Chappy out there, Chappy is a wonderful guy, wonderful family guy. He's a big-time surf fisherman. He hunts stripers in kayaks. He's on boats. He's just an all-around guy. And really, if you want to get to know somebody who's a good person in the surf fishing industry, I would recommend Chappy. He's just a wonderful guy. He's free, open to answering anybody's questions. Check him out on Instagram. I'll leave his Instagram on the bottom of this video on the bottom.
Thanks for calling in, Chappy. See you soon.
Thank you.
Chappy.
Thanks, Chappy. Thank you very much, buddy.
No worries. Thank you.
All right.
Nice. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
Call
No.
from
We
Edwin.
have Edwin now.
We're gonna go Edwin quick. Okay,
To
yeah,
accept,
we'll go
press
Edwin.
1. To send a voicemail,
Real
press
quick,
2.
we're gonna go to Edwin. Go
Edwin.
ahead.
Edwin, you there?
Let's see.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, Edwin. All right, so I'll let you take the floor, Edwin. You got Orlando from NorCal Cat on.
What's up, dude?
All right. What's up, brother? I wanted to know, like, since you fish so hard, like, what is your longest, like outing that you've gone on?
Oh man, one time, I hate to admit it, but so I fished from, God, what was it? 9 o'clock at night till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon was my longest single session.
Oh my God!
I was, yeah, it was pretty brutal, but I was on fish, and I moved a couple spots. I just kept on following the conditions. So I fished the incoming tide to the high, and then I fished the outgoing at another spot, and then at the very bottom of the low, I knew this one spot that was really good at low tide. Right at the very bottom, the structure was just super defined. So I went there, caught fish there. And then I started fishing the incoming. So I went back where I started at that night. And so it's like I just kept on connecting with fish. So I had a hard time like leaving fish. But at one point I was just beat, dude.
That's a good problem to have, I tell you.
But yeah, that's probably like the longest like I've gone like fishing, man. Freaking I don't recommend it, but like I said, I was just sometimes, man, you just fall into fish and like everything is like working right and everything was connecting. So I just kept on going, man. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I can't say the same. I probably fish, I don't know, 6 hours max at a time. Then I go take a nap in the truck.
Yeah, I mean I've done that too, where I'll fish, and then like the conditions are crappy. Like okay, so out here on the West Coast, we have these waters, we have these sand dunes, that give you a little bit of wind cover. I've actually like fished till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then like it was right at 3 o'clock. It was dead flat right at the bottom, and I was like, man, like I'm out of water. I can't fish no more. But I didn't want to leave because I was like, man, at 5-6 o'clock it's gonna be fucking like ideal. So what I did is I went to the sand dunes and like not even prepared. I just freaking curled up in the sand dunes and freaking took a nap, man. And then woke up like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was freezing my ass off. Don't think I was comfortable, dude. I was like freezing my ass off, but I didn't want to leave. Just because I wanted to fish that morning session, so because to get to where it was, it's like a 45-minute hike. So it's like I didn't want to freaking like go all the way back to the car and then have to walk all the way back. So I was like, I'll just freaking sleep in these sand dunes and freaking. I try to hunker up as tight as possible and like curl up in a ball. But I was freezing. I got a little bit of rest, but I mean, it's better than like just standing around because I knew that at flat bottom where I was, it's junk. So, but I knew once the water came in on the incoming, it was gonna get good. And I started catching fish, so the results were worth it.
It's a beautiful thing, baby.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I woke up and I had all these little like bugs all over me.
I got a cool story.
Yeah.
So one time, me and Mike Fixer were fishing, and I just remembered it right now. We were fishing, and this one beach we're at, you're not allowed to be on the beach. Like the lifeguards come, like the park rangers or whatever, they'll drive their truck on the beach and actually kick people off the beach. And mainly it's for like the people trying to do bonfires and just, but if they see us as fishermen, they'll kick us out as well. So freaking, like we saw the park ranger coming on, and me and Mike's like, he's an old school dude, but he's gangster, dude. So he's like, let's stop fishing, run to the hillside, and hide in those ice plants. So we literally ran to the hillside. Me and old ass Mike laid down in ice plants and we're like playing like we're part of like camouflage with the ice vest. Park ranger drives by, and then he's like, "No, we can't leave. We gotta wait for him to come back." So he goes by, then he comes back, and then freaking Mike's like, "All right, let's go, freaking." And then we were back, and we started fishing again. But that's just the stuff you have to do sometimes, man. You have to adapt to be able to stay out on the water, man. So
Totally.
Totally is right.
Awesome.
Okay,
All right,
Edwin,
my last question.
You were gonna ask another question, Edwin?
My last one. My last one.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. You deserve it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
When are you making my lures? I've been waiting since February and March. Where's my lures?
You are almost up, dude. So right now, I'm working on my December and January, partial January 2021 orders.
Wow.
No. At least you get to know me now. When you get your lures, I'll be dead. But anyway.
So by the time I get done with that batch, it's probably gonna be another like month.
Okay, cool.
So the guys who are partial January, the end of January into February, I'm gonna start hitting those guys up for basically what you want made. So I already have like some of you guys is like what you want made, but that changes often. So I always hit you guys up and be like, hey, you're next up on my log. This is what I have you down for. Do you want to make changes? You can even cancel. I've had guys like, dude, freaking times are tough.
Right.
And they're like, times are tough. All right, cancel, no problem. And they're like, hey, if it gets better, just throw my name back on the list. If it gets better, I'll reorder them. Like, not a problem, dude. But I always confirm with you guys for my next batch, like what you want made and what colors and all that stuff. So you get exactly, like I was saying earlier, I try to make exactly what you would want to throw in your bag. So. But yeah, I'll be hitting, if you're February of 21, you'll probably be getting hit up here pretty soon in the next month.
There you go.
Very cool.
I hope there's a lot of cancellations.
Thank you so much, Edwin.
Thanks, Edwin.
You are the best, man.
Take care.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Orlando. I know it's getting past 9 o'clock. I'm leaving for work in exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh boy.
Oh damn.
That's a bummer in itself. But
people
anyway.
are commenting. Edwin wants
Didn't
Jessica's
you just get back from work right now?
Yeah, I had a double to do, man. I had a double.
Covering
So I go in back tonight, and I'm doing another double tomorrow. When times come like this, you know yourself, and don't say ooh, because you probably work harder at those lures than I do when I go to work. I sit in front of a computer, and I have to be on it, make sure that any alarms go off. I'm constantly going around and resetting alarms. This is my job. It's a very, when I say that, it's a very important job. You have to have your license. You have to be responsible, period. And
so you're like Homer Simpson in the freaking nuclear power plant.
Let me tell you, I'm worse than Homer Simpson.
That's so funny.
That is. Hello, NorCal Cat.
Like when Homer goes back in his chair.
You're fishing for the three fish in the back river of the nuclear plant.
Let me tell you, buddy, you don't know how Homer Simpson I am at that place. But anyway, I am the Homer Simpson. You know, guys come up, they follow me, they're asking me. I have many years of experience on it. You know, a lot of years. I'm coming close to 30 years on experience on the machinery that I work on. And I'm very good at it. They have me in that position because I am Homer Simpson. And Homer does care about his job, even though he does take little naps on his chairs. That's why I call myself Homer Simpson. Boss, you didn't hear that right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's no time for that. That's it's a scary job. You know, like when I have to go to the restroom, I have to tell my partner, I work with somebody else there. I'm like, sit in the computer, let me know. And then I go take a 10-minute break or whatever. But we'll always have to be on all the time over there. And everybody's life. It isn't just mine. If you have a job, you have a responsibility, and you must fulfill that responsibility to the fullest in order to keep paying those bills, guys, and go fishing. You know what I mean? Other than that, Orlando, straight to you, brother. Look at me, brother. Thank you very much. You are the man. You are the conservationist. You are the idealist. You are the artist. You are the lure maker. And you care about the product that you make, and that's why you're at where you're at today. And if you don't like that 16-month waiting list, you got to wait, guys. That's all I got to say. Other than that, Orlando, anything else you want to finish this up with tonight, buddy?
Nah, man, freaking, hey, thank you for having me on, man. Freaking,
Oh, man, thank you for being on.
Anytime you want to, back on here and we can just
thank you,
dude. I just like talking.
I know you
just
do,
like
brother.
Anybody else, man.
Beautiful.
I know you do.
If
Absolutely.
we can help out, some of those the listeners and answer their questions.
Yep.
Don't be scared to ask more detailed questions, guys. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. I
I'm
appreciate.
not gonna give away spots or any of that stuff, but if you want to know technique and details, I have no problem doing that. So,
and it all starts from my underwears and what I wear. I love red Calvin Kleins. Gives me a good, comfortable feeling on the ocean when I wear my waders. And that's where it all begins, right there in the red color. Other than that, that's how I met Orlando, honey. I saw his red little, what are they called, bombers? Or you had the little mini ones, and they're round in the front. What are they like? They almost look like a spook, but a little mini one you had. Those are the ones he showed me. They're metal lips, you know what I mean? But they were mini ones, but the mini ones. What's that?
Peanut?
It might have been a peanut, but they were small ones. They were really nice, and that's what interested me. And I said, wow, these are beautiful lures. And that's how I got to this point where I'm at with you.
Oh, you know what it was? It was a juggernaut.
Okay, juggernaut. Okay, that's what it was. But all I know is that when I saw it, I liked it, period. You can tell class lures from Japanese lures in a second, or Chinese lures, I should say. But anyway, other than that.
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
I've seen him ask it a couple of times, Striper Hunter. He said, how do you figure the weights on a new lure? It's all trial and error, man. You have to kind of, the concept is you have to know what you want the lure to do. Is it something you want to fish on top water, or is it something you want subsurface? Once you figure that out, then, okay, what is the shape that I'm going after, and where do I plan on fishing it? Am I fishing slow water, or am I fishing choppy water, or am I fishing fast water? So putting the weight and how much weight is going to a lot of it's going to be trial and error. If you're planning on making a lure yourself, it's just a lot of trial and error. You figure out what works for your setup, and the shape of it, how much wood you have, or whatever product you're using, and it all has to kind of balance out. I had like a guy ask me just yesterday. He's like, hey, I want to make a small, fat little lure, like a peanut, but fat and short, like 3 inches. And he showed me a picture, and he put a surfster lip on it. And I said, hey, man, I'm not going to tell you, but I think, you're probably better off using a Z lip, which they call is a lip that creates like a Z pattern that it has on it, versus a surfster lip. I go, because it's so fat, it might roll out on itself because it doesn't have, it's not going to have that balance with a surfster lip. But I said, hey, that is all the process of learning. Go and take it out and fish it where you think you want to use it, and see what it does. It may work. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Don't let me tell you to make changes without you actually going and trying and using it. It may work perfect. Just make sure that everything you do, as far as where you put the weight, where you put your line, your drill, your hole for your belly swivel, and all that stuff. Keep notes of where all that's at. Have a little notepad and write down, have all your measurements, all your weights, all that, have all the written down. That way, if you need to make changes, you're not repeating the same thing over and over and not getting the results you want. So just got to be very meticulous about it. But ultimately, just have fun and try it out.
Don't
paint it. Don't paint it.
That's
go
right.
Out, put it all together, unpaint it, and go out and see what it does. Where you want
if you want it painted,
if it doesn't,
right.
You didn't waste your time freaking painting it and have to start the whole process over again.
And if you wanted paint, go ahead.
Make like 5 or 6 bodies of the same shape that you want to do. That way you could, kind of dial it in, make them with different, weight points and all that stuff.
And if you want it painted, send it back to Orlando. It's the only way you're going to get it painted correctly. Orlando, I have to tell you, it's getting after 9. I know a lot of these guys are sitting there patiently. They're hanging out. They want that giveaway. Orlando,
Let's get that going.
man, thank you so much again for being on.
Thanks,
You're
Orlando.
a wonderful character, and I'm glad I got to know you in my lifetime, and I mean that as a fact, bro. I'm glad I got to know you, and I'm going to get to know you more. Hopefully one day I can make a nice trip out to California and get on that brand new boat that you're working on together with you. I would love it. I don't,
Hey,
yeah.
no problem.
I would love it.
Especially the wintertime, man. That's when it's
Yeah.
hot over here for
Wow.
us. So when it's snowing for you guys, let's plan a trip and come out
Man,
here.
honey,
It's prime time over
you
here.
know what I want for Christmas now, honey. Don't hurt my feelings, please.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right,
So we got that bag tonight, guys. Let me put the overhead on really quick. We're going to be giving away the Ebbpoint. I got the bag open right now. It's got 2 tubes in there. You're also going to be getting a Inception tackle. Now, my wife won this, but I wanted to give it away for you guys. You can see what you're winning on there. Those are your choices. Make sure that you give this for him. There's a number on there that he gets, and if anybody tries to scam anything, there's going to be a problem because I'm sending Orlando after you, and he likes to leave California for those type of things. So don't. Anyway, other than that, we also have an ocean-born Flying Daughter. It's a 7-inch, 2.5 ounce. Nice. And let's not forget my man, Mike Zinger Baits. What can I say about you, Mike? You're a dynamite guy. You helped me out in Maine this weekend. We'll be putting up that video. Zinger Baits, you got me out of the jam. That's all I got to tell you. But thanks so much. We're going to be running that comment picker right now. If you have a comment on last week's live stream on the bottom, we'll be calling out that name right now. My wife, are you getting ready to zip it, honey?
Orlando's just going to hang out with us, okay?
Yeah, Orlando, hang out.
Okay, I'm going to press the button. And here we go. We got a name.
Ooh, who's this guy? I don't know him.
The Mountain Pirate Fishing.
The Mountain Pirate Fishing. Okay, so you get 10 seconds to answer. Last week, we went through about 29 minutes of waiting for somebody to win the prize. Goes to show you how popular my channel is. But anyway, let's start off 10, 9, 8. The Mountain Pirate Fisherman. We're waiting to hear from you. If you don't answer, it's going to go on again. So you're up to 7.
That's my secret login.
Yeah, 6. Hey. Come on, buddy. 5. His friends are calling him right now. Get on there. Too late. You got 5. You got 4. 3. Come on, guy. Answer me. 2. 1. It's too late. I don't care if you said something. You're not going to embarrass me. The next guy. Let's roll it off. Go ahead, honey.
Okay, next.
Spin it up.
So that guy goes out. We got to go on to the next
And the next
person.
one is, we got Kevin R. Kevin R., I know who you are. I know who Kevin R. is.
Kevin R.
Kevin R., are you there? Are you still there, Kevin R.? I hope you are still on, but okay, you get the 10. There he is. He wins.
Woohoo!
Kevin. Wait. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's enough of that. Thank you, Kevin R. Thank you, everybody out there.
Nice.
Big thanks to Orlando. Orlando, we'll see you soon. And I love that background, buddy. It's a beautiful background. Really, no, it's interesting. A lot of people making comments all night about it.
Yeah.
If you had watched. Awesome idea. As you know, you are the artist. You are the lure maker. NorCal Cat will leave a description on the bottom of this video if you want to get in contact with him and get your own NorCal Cat lure made by Orlando himself.
Thanks,
Other than
everybody.
that, thanks, everybody.
See you
Thank you,
next
Orlando.
time.
See you next time, guys. Ciao.
Good night.